The sun is hiding and the magpie is casting. Hello, and a very warm welcome to all my viewers from around the world. Magpie 842 here, coming at you with a 1v1 battle, this time featuring, spawning in the north, the US forces of Vaits. And spawning in the south side of the map, playing as Overcommand West, we have Chef. Neither player having chosen their commander. The map today, we've got Falmyonville approach. So this was one of the maps which was new to the Western Front Armies package, and a pretty cool map, one which I've hardly ever seen, and for some reason seldom played on. So I guess a lot of people must veto it, even though I myself don't. So this is a very asymmetrical map. So yeah, we've I'd say it's kind of quite high on density, insofar as terrain goes. We've got a lot of buildings, we've got a lot of line of sight blockers, we've got a lot of heavy cover, light cover, and in the initial phases here, it seems like rushing forwards with the Storm Pioneers is Chef, and he's just going to exchange some fire with a few rear echelon troops here. That seems to be a fight which the Storm Pioneers are winning. As a Kubelwagen joins the fray, and that's going to offer some suppression here. And I wonder if we'll see elite riflemen chosen shortly. Usually the case. The Kubelwagen being the subject of a lot of fire here. Let's look at the veterancy rate. Not that great from shooting at a Kubelwagen. Okay, that's interesting to know. And so yeah, the victory points pretty much distributed down the down the middle line of the map, and a few resource points scattered around. We've got a fuel and ammunitions point for each player in close proximity though, so going to be a lot of tussling for those points.
Someone get us out of here!
The Storm Pioneers momentarily popping out of the building, but hopping straight back in because these riflemen who are taking their time popping over this wall. Come on, guys. These rear echelon troops still under heavy fire, down to less than half health, but still at 4 models, finally suppressed. And these Storm Pioneers going to try and rush these riflemen. Not sure I like this, but he does get them into nice close range. Sorry, I was just worried about crossing this ground. I've got a lot of respect for the firepower on riflemen. They're like real beasts. And some Volks Grenadiers coming to reinforce this building. So the fighting kind of fierce and thick, and involving most of the units for both factions. The US player Vaits able to just siphon off the rear echelon troops to the north, just to start actually grabbing some ground, whereas the Overcommand player Chef not able to spare a unit to cap elsewhere on the map. So profiting from this fight probably the most is the American player, as the exchanges during the fight were more or less even. I would say probably not going to go for the veteran rifleman now, Vaits, owing to the fact that if he was going to go for that, he probably would have gone for that by now. The main benefit, of course, being able to take those elite rifleman squads so that you don't have to build regular rifleman squads. But he's already invested in 3 regular rifleman squads, so you're not going to see as much benefit out of the elite rifleman option were you to choose it. That leaves him with Armor Company, who has assault engineers. That's pretty lame. Elite. Oh no, wait, no, they're all right. They're the guys with subs. Yeah, they're pretty good. Elite vehicle crews upgrade is completely just a blank. I've never seen that be useful ever. The M10 is I reckon seriously underrated. It's pretty cool. The Bulldozer Sherman is yeah, that's good fun. The 240mm howitzer barrage. That's the big boom booms. And this Kubelwagen in a good position at the moment, but I think he just wants to back it up. He's a little close to these riflemen. Oh, goodness me, and if he decides to get any closer or expose the rear armour, he's going to be in for a world of hurt. And do we have pineapples researched yet for the American forces? No. Do we have them on the research?
Sherman, ready for action. Veteran know-how will help us to better prepare.
Here we go. How much are they? Yeah, 25. So he hasn't actually started the research on those pineapples, so no danger yet of a grenade flying into these Volks Grenadiers. They are okay. I'd like to see these Storm Pioneers just play a little bit cautiously, just repair the Kubelwagen. This has been a reasonably well microed Kubel so far. He needs to arc it though. He needs to turn it, and he does not want to get shot at whilst he's repairing. Storm Pioneers, the downside of their fantastically fast repairability, of course, being that they are incredibly vulnerable whilst doing so. I'm finally able to capture some maps and most importantly send some presence out onto that right flank. Chef dispatching a Volk squad over there. And if we take a look at the build orders, we've got 2 rear echelons, 3 riflemen for Vaits, whereas Chef is bringing 3 Volks, the Storms he started with, and the Kubelwagen, and opting to go for the Mechanized Regiment headquarters, putting them in a fairly shielded location. This is a smart choice, and as we cover the fight, try and just remember where that was. See, most people put the mechanized HQ in their base because it doesn't. You can repair vehicles there, but that takes a while, and you want to pull them off the line to do so anyway. And it's it's got a fuel converter. So why would you want to jeopardize the building by placing it out on the map? Well, here's the answer. If you position it just there, it's it's like it's not that much more dangerous, but it is hidden. And like so, right now his opponent's still guessing. If we select one of his units and then hit the fog of war on, I guess he has no idea that this truck is here. And if he was to get a scout over fly or get a unit close to the base, he's not going to see it there either. I don't think he'll detect this truck for a little while. And every all the time that you can keep this tech hidden, your opponent doesn't know what to expect, so they're not going to be able to buy the units which counter the choices that you can get from the mechanized company. So, smart placement there, I reckon, from Chef, and something which I'll be looking to do myself in games from now on, I would have thought. Anyway, these Volks now down to 2 men. That's going to be a fullback, I would have thought, for that squad. The Storm Pioneers, likewise, down to very low health and just 3 men, so they're going to fall back. This Kuba-Wagon is going to stick around, be an annoyance as long as it can. We could see a smoke grenade come out. He's managed to get it up to Veterancy 1 in good time. This is like a Kuba-Wagon after my own heart. I mean, I'm not the Kuba-Wagon master, but I like to think I can micro a Kubal most of the time up to 1-star Veterancy. So yeah, this crucial, because the 1-star upgrade on a Kuba-Wagon does give you access to this detection mode. Now this doesn't cost munitions, the cost is that it makes the Kuba-Wagon very, very slow. But it reveals infantry units for a large radius on the minimap. And when I say large radius, if you were to have it on this Kuba-Wagon right here, you'd probably see infantry units like within my mouse cursor, just here, like in this kind of a circle. And that's really potent. Like, that is the difference between having your squads in the right cover, facing the right direction, all of your guns and machine guns facing the right way, and not. And that makes or breaks defenses and offenses. So, once the Kuba-Wagon gets up to 1-star, it starts to be a real asset. I really like it, so that's awesome. An MG-34 team being deployed to the field here, indicating therefore that Chef has selected the Luftwaffe Ground Forces Doctrine, a fine and fantastic doctrine, especially for a map like this with a lot of vehicles, a lot of buildings that he can use to both deploy Fallschirm Jägers for and garrison MG-34s. The American forces not actually having that easier time dealing with MGs garrisoned in buildings. I mean, sure, they can get the grenades if they research them, and I believe that gives them access to smoke grenades. Oh! Wow, a split of Zooks there. Oh, that is a lucky Kuba. That really shouldn't be alive. He's not out yet. You're not out yet. Thanks, Agent Smith. Thanks. And, but gonna get out. Looks like his gun has gotten a little bit car sick and it's just gonna huddle down for a while. And if we take a look at the victory points, now about a 60-point lead for the American player, who's been able to control the flanks whilst this battle's been going on. At the cost, it must be said, of a bit of manpower. Medical... this is clever as well. Chef, I think I'm starting to like you. As a player, just as a player, there's nothing else going on here. Yeah, because by deploying the medical boxes here from the Storm Pioneers, he's going to be able to heal his troops when he falls them back, despite the fact that he doesn't yet have the battle group headquarters, so yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. It's kind of like loosely the equivalent of, like, say, I don't know, building a bunker near your HQ as Vermax. I mean, it's not quite as good, but it costs a lot less. Yeah, it's just another way of achieving the same thing. I quite like that. And again, just something I've not seen before. That's cool. So as these Volks get up in the face of this captain here, they're like, yo, get out of my hood. Taking fire from some riflemen here on the left as well. The half-ton ambulance, 3/4-ton ambulance here coming on out for the American player. And the pack howitzer also coming out. I reckon this is a really good map for the pack howitzer. Lots of fences, buildings, line of sight blockers make it difficult to locate and approach. And it can lay down fire over quite a wide area on a map which is reasonably small. So yeah, it's a pretty cool choice. This MG-34 doing work on the left flank, capturing a victory point, able to tip things in terms of victory points in favour of the Axis player Chef, so he'll be glad about that. The Kuba-Wagon repaired back on the front now, beginning to chew into the captain in this building. And where is the pack howitzer positioned? Okay, just coming to the front now. So we'll see if that's able to score any good suppressing hits. And some riflemen getting the flank on this Kuba-Wagon. Detection mode was not turned on, which it could have been, and an anti-vehicle grenade is coming on and gets a hit there. Kuba-Wagon now up to 2-star veterancy, so this is a unit who wants to come alive, but here comes the captain with the Zooks, and that has got to be a dead Kuba. No, he sprays the Zooks at the retreating Volks. That is a mistake. This thing needs to keep reversing, but it's not going to. The captain is now suppressed, and he's going to be forced to fall back as the Storm Pioneers coming from the rear. And that's really cool. That is a good save for that Kuba-Wagon, who is now still alive. These Kuba-Wagons... Oh, he's going to get a weapon here. That's a Zook on the ground. Grab the Zook, grab the Zook, grab the Zook. He grabs the Zook, and that's a fallback for the repair on the Kubal. Medical kits, now all used, actually. But I'm liking that, as the pack howitzer claims possibly its first victim. Yes, as the pack howitzer claims its first Volks Grenadier. And firing again. See where this one lands. Oh, and another good hit. That's 2 for 2. Pretty rare. Good stuff, good stuff. Is that the range on the pack howitzer? You know, I thought it was more. I thought it had a slightly longer range than that. Oh well, still not so bad. I think that's still a lot greater than your average mortar squad. But I wonder if that's longer or shorter than the light gun, which is available to the Overcommand forces. And let's see now. So the Schwerer Panzer HQ has been deployed, kind of covering this fuel point, which is really valuable. He needs to grab that though, so the enemy is, you know, it's the onus is on them to kind of get it. Therefore, making this flat half-track position more worthwhile. And does he have enough manpower? No. He doesn't have enough manpower just now, but I dare say we could. I know he has access to Fallschirmjägers, but I'm kind of thinking in my head, like, is it worth him going for Obersoldaten? And I'm kind of thinking yes, because Obersoldaten gives him the ability to booby trap points, which on a close and brutal map like this with flanks that you don't always have units to spare is going to be pretty useful. And they also get that MG34, which makes them quite chunky, you know, when firing at range. So these riflemen are going to garrison this building, and that's gonna let them trade pretty efficiently with these Volks down here on the fuel point. The Volks are probably going to stay and trade just long enough to grab the fuel point, or in fact, you know what, forget everything I was just saying, because of course the Schwerer Panzer HQ here, combined with a run by Storm Pioneers, is going to be all they need to repulse those riflemen. So, able to resolve the situation with minimum hassle. Now the flamethrower is now coming out, and this pack howitzer is doing work. Was that a squad wipe? Yeah. 3 Storm Pioneers. Boom. Ouch. That is good. That is some pretty good work. And a fan of Volks as the Kugelwagen comes back in. What do you get at 2-star veterans? You get mobility is the upgrade at 2-star vet. But a Stuart coming into the rear armor of the Kugelwagen. Chef, Johnny on the spot, sees it and is going to get out, switches to target vehicle only. And that has got to be a dead Kugel, getting gunned down by the machine gun. Did his best to get out of there and very nearly did too. Just wasn't enough today. And looking at the top left and top right of the screen, although the fight's been going pretty well for Chef, who now finds himself in command of the Panzer II Lukes, you know what? He's got to be... I think if he knew that there was a Stuart on the field, he would not have gone for this. I think the Stuart was revealed like just after the Panzer II came on the field, so he's kind of probably feeling a little bit like, ugh, about that. But hey, you know what? He knows that there's a pack howitzer here. So I would maybe go into... What? You cannot be serious. Does he know something I don't? No, the Lukes just does not take a Stuart. Right, okay, sorry. For a second there I was like, he appears to be going for a fight here. Oh, that pack howitzer! Right, he knows the pack howitzer is there now. If he didn't before, okay, but now he can't go for it because the Stuart's going to cut him off. Oh dear, and another squad wipe going down somewhere else on the map. Sorry, I'm afraid I missed that one. So, with map control and controlling all 3 of the victory points, opening up a lead here to about 70 points, but if you look at the top left and top right of the screen, significantly behind on units with fewer infantry units at his command. So this one placed on a knife edge, but the actual on-board position pretty much favouring the US. And I think Vaits wants to be a little more aggressive just now, just fan his units out, and yeah, he's doing it now, yeah. Just, you know, you can get the lieutenant out of this building. He's not really doing much right now. Just get him onto this point, get him capturing it, get these riflemen here onto this point. Just start chewing into the land advantage. You've got to put the time in. You've got to spend the time with your units doing it at some point. You might as well do it in this quiet window now when Chef isn't attacking you. And moving his Schwerer Schlepper into this position here, so maybe we're going to see the battle group headquarters come down pretty early. These Volks taking a risky repair, being focused down. Oh, the Stuart gets the hit on the wreck and therefore prevents the scavenge from going down. And the pack howitzer, now up to 1-star veterancy, doing additional work back there. And what does 1-star veterancy give you? That gives you the Woolly Pete barrage, okay. And, oh, this is risky. I'm not sure I like this. He's just going to deploy his battle group headquarters here behind a load of Volks, which are soon going to be forced to retreat. And if we check the fog of war... Okay, so Vaits has no idea this is here. But if he figures it out, then that is a battle group headquarters which is in jeopardy. The Stuart is going to flank right. It finds the Lukes and it's going to use... Oh, stun the crew. It's going to use... what's the name of its ability that stuns the crew? Shell Shock. Oh my goodness. And I think this Luke's is going to go down. One more hit. Crew stunned again. And the Stuart doing work. One of the best light tanks. Definitely the best light tank in the game at the moment. We'll see if that changes. I'm Actually, wait, do the British even get a light tank? No, they get the AEC, which is really an armoured vehicle. I'm not going to count that as a tank. So yeah, definitely just the best light tank in the game, and proving it here. Nearly up to 2-star veterancy, at which point it gets improved accuracy and rate of fire, so becoming a real beast then. A real beast. What? The MG34 garrisoned here in this charming period building, with conveniently located near a river and or watercourse, with elegant wheel here, with only the minor inconvenience of a war zone nearby, offers in the region of 100,000. Sorry, that's a state agent Magpie there. He just a personality disorder, comes up from time to time. Yeah, the Stuart's just going to do some work against this MG, and why not? You know, the MG can't threaten it, neither can these Storm Pioneers. In fact, if he sees the Storm Pioneers, he would love to go after them. They are a great source of veterancy. Probably wants to repair this tank at some point, but no immediate rush there. And to his credit, throughout all this, despite being outnumbered, I would say outgunned, Chef able to command the majority of the victory points and extend his lead to a good 120 or so points. So that's pretty cool. He's going to be forced to fall back. God damn it, there are like American forces all over the map right now, putting pressure on here, putting pressure on all over the map. And let me just, so if I select an American squad, turn on the fog of war, does he know that this is here still? He still doesn't know this is here, so this is really cool. I mean, it doesn't make so much difference now. Actually, wait, what does it? Because he hasn't built a single unit out of this building. So actually, as far as the American player knows, he's not on all of his tech trucks. And this thing is set to fuel transfer right now. Chef up to 50 fuel. I wonder if we're going to see him just stall and try for a King Tiger or something nuts. There's a good map for a King Tiger too, because the tiny rush distance really kind of helps alleviate the King Tiger's lack of mobility. This is an MG squad that needs to fall back now. And we'll see how Chef is going to respond to that. These folks in the middle there going to be forced to pull back. This thing must nearly be 2-star vet. It'll be 2-star vet after it kills this guy, I think. Finally marshalling most, or at least the right-hand victory point, is Vaits. And I guess at this point Chef has GG'd. Yeah, seems reasonable. I mean, he's down to just a handful, a ragtag bunch here, 4 units. Just, I think, kind of overextended around the map. It can happen when you're playing as Overcommand, especially against American forces, that you just get overtaxed, and a couple of unlucky squad wipes can be all it needs to just kind of tip the scales, really. That Stuart was running amok, there's no doubt about that, and also I think Chef had been unlucky in a way, losing his Kubel, and the Luke's was just... he must have been kicking himself, because he saw the Stuart like 2 seconds after the Luke's finished. If he'd have seen that Luke's like just, I don't know, 15 seconds before, he could have cancelled the Luke's and invested in a Puma, and then this game would probably have looked completely different. But you know, that's the way these things pan out sometimes, so unfortunate, as I say. And wow, actually, when you look at the perks here, he's got 3 for the Lukes here, and maybe he was just experimenting with the Lukes, because you know what, the way he initially tried to take on the Stuart, and then kind of after the first magazine was emptied into the Stuart for like no effect, and the Stuart flumped him one in the face, I think he realised maybe, I don't know, like, you'd have thought a player of this level would know that the Lukes does nothing against a Stuart, but I don't know, he seemed experimental there, so I don't know. But yeah, some solid play here from Chef, some solid placement on this building, and I think that was a premature GG. Yeah, you've lost map control, but I think if you give it another 5 minutes, you know, you've still got the Schwere Panzer HQ being annoying in a great position. You've still got all 3 of your tech buildings, and because you're only on 14 unit cap, your manpower income is like 280. So, I reckon if he'd have stuck in, I reckon like the next unit I would have built would have been. How much munitions have you got here? Not very much, so you've got 60. So I reckon I probably would have built like 1 more squad of Volks and then gotten a Puma, or just gone straight for the Puma actually, yeah, straight for the Puma. Use the Puma to clean up the Stuart, or at least ward it off as best I can, whilst using my 2 existing squads of Volks just to play for position around here and hopefully try and grab 1 of the victory points, so I'm not dying super fast. Probably this one, focus everything on this one. Or this one actually, and use your Schwere Panzer HQ as a like to leapfrog as a safe zone. But you know, sometimes you're so far behind, you think, yeah, screw it, I'm done. Move on to the next game, and that is Chef's prerogative. So thanks very much for watching. This is Magpie 842 signing out.